Yo, what up, people? Don Does here. So I'm just gonna make a quick meal right quick. It's just gonna be rice with ground beef, and we're gonna cook it the lazy way. So how we're gonna do that? We're basically just gonna have the rice at the bottom, put some water in there, and then just the ground beef on top. And then once everything's cooked and done, all we're gonna do is mix it up and consume it. And that's pretty much it. You know, nothing fancy, nothing special, things like that. So let me show ya. So we have a fridge right here. That's where we keep our food and stuff like that. Ooh, we're gonna add some spinach in there as well. It's starting to go kind of bad, so yeah, let's take care of that. And reason why it's wrapped like this is just so it can insulate it, so it's more energy efficient and things like that, right? All right, so there we're at with that. Got a pound of ground beef out. And what we're going to be cooking out of is the good old Instapot. For the most part, Instapot seems pretty energy efficient, so that's the reason we like using it. And then for me, it's cooking with electricity is just a lot easier, a lot more simplistic than having to deal with gas or propane and things like that, you know? All right, so got a big old bag of rice right now. And this is from when I was still living with my ex, you know, so we ended up getting a big bag of rice that we're still working through right now. But after we're done with this big bag of rice, we're probably only going to be purchasing smaller bags because it does take quite a bit of room, I feel. I don't know how much I put in there, but about 2 cups of this. And yep, that's pretty much it. All right, got the hooky back on and put it right over there. So one thing we're doing differently is we have a microphone this time while not around, so hopefully you guys can hear me much better. All right, now all we're gonna do is we're gonna add water to the rice. That's enough water, right? Yeah. Yo. No mess right here. Wipe that down. Let me show you guys right quick. So I saw this in there. Nothing special, nothing cool. All right. Then we just mix it up with our hands because we don't want to use utensils for the time being. We wash our hands before this, I'm pretty sure, so we should be good. And then next is the good old ground beef. All right. Before we get that, we should probably get our trash bag ready. So one thing I recommend you guys doing if you're doing van life is to purchase these smaller bags. Yeah, it comes about 40. It's about this size. And the reason for that is it's a good size to basically throw away your trash without really drawing too much attention to yourself. So highly recommend to get these smaller bags and toss it pretty much every day. One little trick I like to do, because I don't really throw away trash every single moment I have the opportunity to, is that if there's food and things like that, I put it into the fridge again. And usually the fridge has enough room in there. And the idea with that is so it doesn't spoil as fast. And yeah, that's just my little trick that I like to use when doing that. Yeah, and let's see where this opens up. So we can open this properly, and then we drop the ground beef in there, and we should be good to go. And usually all I do once we get started is that we just put it into rice cooking mode, and then the ground beef will cook as well. So that's one thing I like about doing rice and ground beef together, is that it's like a one pot meal pretty much, you know, very efficient, doesn't take that much time, tastes pretty decent, you know. So one thing about me is that I see food as fuel and nutrition, and the cool part about having a disciplined diet or like a boring diet is that when you do have one of your cheat meals, it tastes that much better. Instead of always eating and overindulging, you know, you just get used to eating these things and doesn't really enjoy it's not that much enjoyable. But when you eat, I don't know where I'm going with this. But basically when you eat and then you basically limit and restrict yourself from eating certain type of food, it ends up tasting 10 times better when you do have it. It's basically where I'm going. All right, and then I'm gonna add some salt for seasoning. Keep it simple today, nothing special. So I like using Himalayan pink salt because there's minerals in there, and it's much healthier alternative to standard salt. Please use a bit generous in regards to that. Close this baby up. Stick it back there. And then usually just good old salt and pepper does the job, but where's my pepper? Yeah, so I have a little pantry right over here. Y'all can see where I keep some of my food items. We can't find the pepper. That's fine. We'll just go ahead and just send it. So we got the lid now over here. So it's nothing special or fancy, just like that. Just a very simple meal, just to get by. It doesn't have to be fancy, you know. I don't live to eat. Food is just a source of energy for me. Probably gonna be a crummy video, but you know, my brain's kind of all over the place right now. And then all we gotta do is press rice and then start, and we're good to go. All right, so as you guys can see and hear, it's currently releasing steam from the Instapot. So if it wasn't for the fan, all the heat and steam would get trapped up here. And over time, what I'm thinking is that it'll probably could produce some kind of mold and weird smell, which we don't want. So by having the fan, what it's doing is that it's pushing the air out that way, or we have the window open and all that good stuff. Yeah, so since we're here, I don't think I did official van tour yet. Not really that much, and we can probably do it in a few seconds, honestly. So here, we have a fridge, which actually serves as a nice countertop as well as needed. Over here, we have our sink. So that's a USB powered sink. It's like a pump, disperse water as well. And where that water is coming from is from this jug right here, which we have routed like that. And then that's the sink basin. And down here we have forgot to turn it on to help circulate the air. Have a little air purifier down here. So I think that's a great way just to make sure that it collects like particles and dust within the car. So it's something I really like to use as well. And on hot days, this actually does a really good job at circulating air in here. And over here, we have our little pantry. As y'all can see, let's see if I can pull it out. Here we go. Yo. Yep. Yeah. So nothing really holds it. It's just by tension, things like that. And what we keep here on top is our everyday items that we typically use, such as our toothbrush, as you can see. And then we have shampoo right here. And what's in shampoo is vinegar. And we use vinegar basically just to clean surface and things like that. And as nasty it is, we like to spray it into our 1 gallon bottle, which I use to go pee. And hand soap, hand sanitizer, and then basically like food staples such as salt, peanut butter, and all that good stuff, and more miscellaneous food. And over here, we actually have some more food. It was originally a trash can, but it wasn't really useful or efficient, so we ended up just using it as additional food storage. And then this is our little pantry area, pretty much. Small rice cooker, we've got some nuts here, and then we have some other stuff down here, such as oil. And then going this way would be our bed. So the bed right now is in couch mode, but once we do want to go to sleep, we're able to just press this lever down on each side. So we have heavy duty drawer slides. Highly recommended if you guys make a bed like this. It just makes life so much easier. I'm glad I made the investment in regards to that. And that's pretty much it. And over here is where we keep our clothes. I'm sure you guys can see. Here, let's turn this light on. Yeah. So we have a 3 dresser system that we just customize from an old dresser that we had. And yeah. And down here is some more additional storage. That's where the Instapot goes when it's not being used. And that's pretty much it. And then under the bed is where we keep the clothes. Let's see if I can get you guys a good angle in there. So we keep clothes down here. We have some other storage stuff under there as well. And I won't show you guys now, but for the back would be in the trunk area is where we keep our energy system. On top of the car is solar. And we have a vent system up here. It's basically an exhaust system. Just push air out and circulate air out. That's pretty much it. Alrighty. So pretty much done. So usually once the Instapot is done, just wait for it to naturally release the pressure. And now we can open it. Once all said and done, just let the water drip back down so we don't make a mess that way. And then flippy, drop it here. Let's take a look at it. And that's what it looks like in there. I'm gonna pause it real quick and move to. Alrighty. And that's what it looks like once it's done. So basically just ground beef, rice, salt, and that's pretty much it. All we do now is just break it up, chop, 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 and just mix it all together. And we're probably gonna eat right out of it too, to reduce waste, like dishes we have to wash. You know, naturally I'm very lazy. I try to be very efficient with things. Ooh, so sticking to the bottom. So what that tells me was that I might have not added enough water to it. So oops, my bad. And one thing I like to do is try to scrape it immediately as much as I can off the sides, off the bottom. Because if I don't do it now, the issue is gonna be it's gonna be hard to wash later. You know, we don't want that. So scrape it off as much as we can. All of it, actually. Yeah, so scraping it off. Otherwise, it's gonna stick. So once it cools down, it's gonna be harder for it to get off. So I recommend you guys scraping it off immediately if you can. This would be more efficient. I'm doing this with one hand. All right, so just gonna probably add some spinach to here, and just mix it in, huh? Yeah. All right, that should be good on the spinach. And then stick that back in. Do you want some cheese in there? Maybe, maybe not. There's my cheese. There's my cheese. All right, I think we want some cheese in here. Flavor it up. So adding some of this baby in here. Sharp cheddar. Dairy free? What? I didn't know I got that. Usually I prefer normal cheese, not dairy free, but this one's made of cashew. Tastes pretty good. Maybe it might be better. I am lactose, but not too intense where I get the runs from just eating cheese, you know? Oh no! Let's add a generous amount of cheese in there. That smells good. Alright, spill some cheese down here, so let's get it off the ground. Before we forget about it. Alright. And then we have some leftover chicken as well from the other day. Probably gonna do a smell check first, make sure it's still good before we put it in there as well. Because knowing me, if I don't eat it now, it smells fine to me. Drop it right in, right? Yep. Lovely. And then we just threw some trash away earlier, so we're gonna need to start a new trash bag. All right. Yes, sir. And that's pretty much it. So we're just gonna mix everything together, and then we're ready to dine. And probably gonna need a little bit more seasoning, so I'll probably add some soy sauce or something like that. Because you know, I'm Asian and I love my soy sauce. All right. Oops, let's let some air out of that Ziploc bag. There you go. And we're not going to reuse it. We're going to toss it away. Let's drop it in there for now. And then, let's see. Where's my soy sauce? Soy sauce. ¿Dónde está? Let's find it real quick. It's in here, right? Oh, found my pepper. Oh, there's a soy sauce. So, that liquid seasoning. Love this stuff. Maybe just pour it on top. Ooh, might have been a little bit too generous there. All's goods, all's goods. Okay, we organize after. And show you guys what it looks like. Now just mash the chicken in there as well. And we got a meal. Don't know if you guys want to watch me eat or not, but hey, if you guys do, next time, next video, we can definitely do that. And that's pretty much it. Don't know how many calories it is, but I'm guessing this will probably be like 1,500 or so. So, yeah. So one thing I'm doing differently is that I'm trying to eat 2 meals a day. Before I was only doing 1 meal a day, and I feel like I probably wasn't getting my daily macronutrients in properly. So probably gonna have to up it a bit. It's either eating 2 meals a day or having a post-workout shake or something like that, you know? With that's like high calories. Probably shooting for 1,000 calories by adding oats, peanut butter, and all that good stuff. Yep, and that's it. Our simple meal. Woo. Alright. Now we're just gonna do the dishes, right? Nothing special, just dishes. Alright. So usually when I do dishes, I like to start stuff that's not as greasy first. So this lid isn't greasy much at all. So we'll start with that. And then it's the pot lid. It usually doesn't get too greasy either. So we'll do this one next. Lovely. We'll stick it right next to there. And then let's do the spoon next. Spoon, spoon, spoon. Got some salt over here. Alright, fork's a bit dirty, make sure we scrub it good. Yeah, so I'm just doing it literally on my knees right now. I have a little piece of clothing under my knees just to help cushion it a bit, you feel? And then next, a little spatula thingy. Scrub, 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 dub, dub, dub. And then this next little Pyrex container where the chicken was. Scrub, 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 dub, dub, dub. Yeah, when I first started van life, just washing dishes was kind of like a pain, you know? But as you do it, you just get used to it and it becomes second nature over time, you know? Yeah. So one thing we did earlier is that we soaked this a little bit at the bottom just to help get rid of some of the gunk on there. And then let's go into the scrub, scrub, scrub. And dub, dub, dub. Scraping it off earlier really helps. I remember one of the first time cooking in the van, and I didn't scrape it right away. It was such a pain to do dishes, where to the point where I didn't want to cook anymore, you know. So, but once you get into the system of things, it's not half bad, you know. So I was moving it to the floor right now. Let's just scrub, 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 more. Sorry, I don't got my mic on right now. I wasn't planning to record this, but I figured might as well. Just in case you guys want to see how I do my dishes. Nothing glorious at all, that's for sure. Alright, flip to the other side. Lovely. And at least once a week, I like to scrub down the sink as well. So we're going to do that right now before we continue. So wiping it down. Alright. Keep it clean, baby. Keep it clean. Alright, I think that's good enough. Now we rinse off the sponge. Let's rinse off the sponge right quick. Put it back where it was. Actually, there's some food particle in here, so make sure you get all the food particles off the sponge if you can. Good to go. And then rinsing wise, let's put this here so we can maximize the water. Probably do these last. Probably start with the lid. And then just angle it. This thing's a little small. This pot's a little big, so it's got to angle a little bit. Use a little technique. It's okay to make a little mess. Initially, I was kind of worried about water getting to places, but hey, it's no big deal. As long as it doesn't get to the back, anything in the front and on the surface, we can always wipe down after we're done. Alright, let's get some off the lid. That's pretty much good enough. And over here, I have this clean shirt out here. I just put the dishes and stuff on there. Alright, so looking to make sure there's no soap residue, which there isn't. And then let's do this pot next. And we'll use our hands to help with the cleaning a little bit. Ow, my elbow, no big deal. Alright, squish it around with that water. Kind of feel it around with our hands, make sure there's no other grime and nastiness. And that's pretty much it. And then we'll do another quick rinse on this, make sure all the soap is off. Yeah, you can see. And then it's gotta make sure we get the outside. We just gotta finish the utensils. Chilling. That. We're done with dishes. Alright. Let's grab wipe it down. We'll grab an old shirt for now. Wipe it down. Should be chilling. Alright. Just gotta wipe down everything real quick. You're done. And I'm not too worried about the surface because I triple, possibly even quadruple coated the top with polyurethane, which is yeah, it's a treatment for the wood to make sure water doesn't seep into it. Alright, that feels pretty good. And then spray some vinegar. We chilling. It's a little wet, so we'll wring it out as much as we can. Wipe this down here too. Maybe, yeah, water didn't go to the bank, thankfully. Alright, that's that. Pro tip in regards to when you're doing dishes in your car is try to not even get one piece of food particle in there, because even like a few pieces of food particle will make the whole water system smell. So try to eat everything. Before we continue with, once the meal's done cooking, I just want to thank whoever's following and subscribing and liking the content. I know my content right now is really crummy because I'm just still learning and developing things. And typically in the past, what I would usually do is I want everything to be perfect. I want things a certain way before we progress with things. But, we're learning to be less perfect with things like that in life. And it's okay not to be perfect all the time. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to produce some crummy videos at times, as long as we're getting the practice in and we know that we're growing, progressing in some form of a way. So thank you guys for following me, I guess, and joining this journey. So really appreciate you guys.